I try really hard not to punish people for being the good guy. Like, we all know the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished, and Twitch CEO Dan Clancy did a good guy thing a little bit ago. And I'm calling on all of you not to punish him for the good deed, but just to not forget something that he promised.
And timeline aside, those savings will be passed on to the streamers?
After this past TwitchCon in October, Dan came onto my stream, shared some pretty big secrets, and then also made some pretty big promises, including the promise to pay streamers more as they rolled out some new changes. Today they announced they're rolling out some of those changes, including something called enhanced broadcasting that they're releasing in collaboration with OBS and NVIDIA. It's supposed to make streaming easier for the streamer and higher quality for the viewer, and they talked about 3 specific benefits, but of course they left out the one promise that Dan made. So let's talk about those benefits and let's see if they're actually any good. Speaking of making your streams better, did you know you can get 50% off stream overlays and alerts on owned.tv right now using code Senpai? Actually, I lied to you, don't use code Senpai. I'm looking at their site right now and apparently they're 65% off for the new year. So if you're looking to spice up your stream with new graphics, now's probably the time to do it. I think I'm probably the biggest fan of the abstract category. The Lucent package I think is just beautiful. I'm also a fan of Nexus and Lure. I'm also a longtime fan of the Rodan series. Either way, there's dozens if not hundreds of these overlays. So if you're looking to spice up your stream right now, this is probably the best time to do it. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below if you're looking for overlays, alerts, panels, literally any graphics for your stream ever. Yeah, this is a good place to get it. Let's talk about Twitch. So enhanced streaming is kind of a package of a handful of different upgrades for the streamer experience. One of the biggest ones is something Dan and I talked about in our interview a couple months ago, and it's called client-side transcoding. I know it's a lot of big words, let me make it simple. You know how you can go to a Twitch partner stream and if you click on the little gear button at the bottom, you can choose what resolution you watch it in? That's called transcoding. Twitch takes your stream in whatever resolution you're streaming in, and then it reprocesses it into lower resolutions. That way, people in areas that have bad internet can still watch without a ton of buffering. But because it's so expensive for Twitch to do, it's literally Twitch's biggest expense. They're not able to give it to everyone. So only partners get it, and then affiliates get it on like a first come, first serve kind of basis. So sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't as an affiliate. Client-side transcoding means it happens on your computer. So your GPU, assuming you have an NVIDIA GPU, takes your stream and then processes it into right now up to 3 different resolutions, and in the future up to 5 different resolutions, and then sends all of those to Twitch. And there are a handful of benefits to doing this, as well as some other features they're releasing. So let's get into those 3 benefits. Benefit number 1 is automatic stream configuration. And this is huge. This is a big deal, especially for new streamers. You won't have to manually adjust your encoding settings in OBS anymore. You know that stuff where the first time you looked at it looked like complete mumbo jumbo? Now OBS can send your PC hardware directly over to Twitch. Twitch will take a look at that, decide what's gonna give you the best results, and send that configuration back to OBS. So basically, you just get to open up OBS and hit go live. Huge. Twitch also said in the article that this is how they plan to enable higher resolution streams like 1440p 60, 4K 60, and this is benefit number 2. Yeah, we're gonna get 4K streams on Twitch. That's a big deal. They don't get into specifics. There's literally like 1 sentence on 4K in the entire article, but it sounds like they're implying that the only way to get 4K is to use auto configuration. And from their point of view, that would actually make a lot of sense. I assume what they're trying to do here is make sure that people don't see 4K, turn it up to 4K, crank up all their settings, and then cost Twitch more money, especially since this entire update is to help Twitch lower their costs. But that leads us to benefit number 3. With the support of H.265, AV1 encoding, and transcoding all happening on the streamer's computer, viewers will be able to watch higher quality streams at lower bit rates, and every streamer, potentially every streamer, will be able to have different resolutions available on their streams. And on the topic of higher quality, something people don't think about is Twitch's encoders are actually multiple years old because they bought them in bulk. Being able to do the encoding on your own system, especially if you have like a 30 or 40 series card, is going to significantly upgrade the quality of your stream. So this, in my opinion, is the obvious next step in streaming technology, especially as GPUs and their built-in encoders are getting even better. Plus, it will eventually remove Twitch's largest financial burden, which is transcoding. Which brings us to Dan's promise. All these announcements today, none of them were actually new. Like, all of these things were shared by Dan during our interview back in October. And he made it pretty clear that the biggest thing stopping Twitch from paying all streamers a 70-30 split is these processing costs. processing that they're removing from their computers and putting on yours instead. And so at the end of this interesting portion of the interview, I made sure to ask Dan a very straightforward question, something that we could clip and use to hold him accountable in the future.
And timeline aside, those savings will be passed on to the streamers?
Yes.
As these changes roll out, if we don't see the Partner Plus program expand to more streamers, or the 70-30 split gets given to all streamers, this clip will be your collateral. It'll be your coupon to hand into Twitch and say, hey, you promised this, let's make some change. Now, I'm not saying we should expect all streamers to get 70-30 even within this year. This is gonna be a very gradual change. Twitch is still giving transcoding to all partners, and only 40 series NVIDIA GPUs even have AV1 encoders built in. So it's gonna be a little bit to see streamers adopt this technology as they update their hardware. So it is important to remember that these things take time and patience is a virtue to a point. And let's just not let it get past that point. I'll leave a link in the description to the full interview. I'll also leave a link to the page where you can request to get early access to the enhanced broadcasting. And also down there, by the way, we got some brand new merch. Wait, actually not this one. This one's part of the drop we're leaving in a couple weeks. I'll have 10 of these made. I'm gonna have 10 of these made. I'm gonna make this one available just for 10 of you. And the black one with the white logo too. There will be 10 of each of those. If you want them early, go ahead and grab them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you did. Hit the subscribe button too. And as always, happy streaming.